Nino Brown Boxing. I'm back in the building. Shout out to the LDBC. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. All right, so I'm noticing a new trend, and during this pandemic, it seems like the trend for a lot of fighters is to put together a hit list, and that hit list being a short list of names of future opponents that they desire to have. Now, a hit list that I saw recently was Earl Spence. He was asked a question about if money wasn't an issue, what would be the next 3 opponents he would like to face. He was asked that question on the podcast with Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes, the All the Smoke podcast. And Earl Spence, his response was Danny Garcia, Manny Pacquiao, and Terrence Crawford. Well, the Zone, they have their own podcast, and Demetrius Andrade, he put out his hit list. Coming in at the top of the list, not surprised at all, Canelo Alvarez, Billy Joe Saunders, and Jamal Charlo. Now, in the article that I read, they spoke on that this list lacked Triple G. And Demetrius Andrade, he went into detail on why he didn't include Triple G. He basically said Triple G's 38 years old. He's had a good career. He was giving him his props, but saying at this point in time, the fight isn't likely. Triple G isn't an opponent that he holds in high regards of facing right now. And he's made several attempts to face Triple G, and Triple G has shown zero interest. So he's at a point where he has no choice but to move on. All right. Now, when it comes to Canelo and Billy Joe Saunders, we all know how Canelo rolls. He likes to fluctuate between multiple weight classes. The situation with him and Billy Joe, they were supposed to fight, but Billy Joe Saunders, he popped dirty. That was also mentioned in the article. And they had this very small 1 or 2 sentences when it came to Jamal Charlo, and basically said, well, Jamal Charlo, he's managed by Al Heyman. That's the reason the fight can't happen, which I find to be extremely interesting, especially when you take into consideration that Demetrius Andrade hasn't fought. He hasn't even had the opportunity to fight any of these top guys at middleweight. And the names we already said, Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, Triple G. So to just try to sum it up when it comes to Jamal Charlo saying, hey, we can't fight because he's managed by Al Heyman, I find that to be complete bullshit, especially when Jamal Charlo has come out on numerous occasions saying that he will go over to the Zone to make fights, but he just don't. Basically, he doesn't want Eddie Hearn to be on some bullshit. And by that, I mean, he wants it to be an instance. This is a unification bout. This is his the Zone opponent. He wants to go over to the Zone, fight on their platform, win or lose, whatever the case may be. But from his perspective, obviously, beat that DAZN guy, get the belt, and go back to regularly scheduled programming on the PBC and continue to progress with his career. That's how Jamal Charlo wants it to go. Let whatever happens be decided in the ring. But we all know how Eddie Hearn is. He's a snake. He's the devil. He wants to gain control and be able to have some type of hold on Jamal Charlo when he comes over to the Zone. And that's what's stalling everything out. At this point in time, if you believe in your fighter, if you believe that if it's a Canelo, well, Eddie Hearn has nothing to do with Canelo. So if it's a Billy Joe Saunders, if it's a Demetrius Andrade, whatever the case may be, if you have faith in your fighter, just make the fight happen. Eddie Hearn talks about how they like to give out the best fights, but we know that's bullshit, because when it's time to put up or shut up and give the fans the best fights and the fights that they really want to see, he always tends to fall short. But yeah, basically that is Demetrius Andrade's hit list. Once again, Canelo, Billy Joe Saunders, and Jamal Charlo. We will see how meaningful this list is once boxing returns from the pandemic. And all I can say is I have a feeling that Demetrius Andrade is going to take a tune-up fight just like everyone else. To me, I look at it like this is the opportunity where If a fighter is being disciplined, they should have no problem getting in the ring with top competition. It's not like any of these guys have been fighting right now anyway. Everyone's been stuck in the house. But we'll see how things play out. It's Nino Brown Boxing. Shout out to the LDBC, and I'm out.